Hi, baby. I'm about to record a video right now. I need you to be a good girl, okay? Okay. Hopefully this angle is okay. It's been forever since I've recorded a video. And honestly, there's been a lot that's occurred over the last year, honestly, especially within the last 6 to 7 months. I'm gonna try to be as transparent as I can. I don't really have a script for this. Hopefully you guys can see me okay and that the glare is not too, from the window, the glare is not too bad. I'll scoot over this way. But where do I begin? If you guys have not tried the apple pie smoothie from Tropical Smoothie, go try it. It is delicious. Oh my goodness. And I always get my smoothies from Tropical Smoothie with Splenda because Tropical Smoothie has a lot of sugar in their smoothies. So I try to limit as much sugar as I can when I, wherever I can. Whether I'm eating out or cooking at home. Give me 1 second. I'm almost finished with this. Okay, so where do I begin? So, well, I guess we can start off with the fact of the matter is that I got laid off from my job. It's been about 6 months now since I've been looking for full-time work. And it's really hard out here. The job market is literally shit right now. Like, it is not a good time to be unemployed, to be searching for work. It's just not a good time to not have a job. It's been really hard. It's been a hard 6 months. I found out the middle of February around President's Day weekend. I think it was actually after we came back from the holiday, was when they broke the news to us that they were laying us off. I loved my job. I was there for almost 6 years. August would have made 6 years that I would have been with the company that I worked for. And we were a small business. It was a publishing company that specialized in calendars and planners and to-dos. And I loved my job. I was in charge of our calendar line, and I was the point of contact person for the nonprofit organizations that we worked with, as well as our licensed partners. And yeah, we had over almost 400, I want to say almost 400 calendars. And that includes our generic line, our calendars for a cause line, which is the nonprofit line that we worked with. our licensed wall calendars, stickered, our eco line, as well as our pinup line, which is our more adult calendars. But yeah, I started there in 2019 as an admin, was just working part-time. I had been let go from my previous job prior to working this job. And, I really saw the vision for myself and the company. I was in school for graphic communications at University of Maryland Global Campus. Still am. I have one class left until I finally get my degree 10 million years later. But I was in school for graphic communications, and I saw, this company, working for this company, as an opportunity to, maybe utilize what I'm going to school for, and to, help out with more design work. And, that was the goal. And so I started there as a part-time admin. Literally within maybe 3 months, I became full-time. And I was an admin for about roughly a year, maybe a little less. And eventually I got promoted to product development coordinator, or dated product coordinator, whatever you want to call my title, basically product development coordinator. And I was pretty much in charge of our wall calendars, creating ISBNs, UPCs, choosing images. We had a Getty subscription, so choosing out images, lots of data entry and document organization, creating the master spreadsheet for our products every year, for the calendars that had captions, entering that information in the spreadsheet. And basically we used InDesign to output all of our walls. So we used to do it manually, so it was a lot of work. We used to do it manually ourselves, putting all the, compiling everything into the wall template on InDesign, and then exporting it, and lots of eyes, double checking everything, making sure everything's correct. But within a couple years, we did reach out to someone, I think on Upwork, and they were able to create an Adobe script for us, which was super, super efficient. It was great. I will say we did always have, like, every year we would have kinks, a little bit of kinks here and there where we would need something fixed, but it made the process a lot faster, a lot smoother. And all we had to do was just make sure that everything was file named correctly. And then we would just run the script, and it would just plug everything in where it needed to go and output it. So, but yeah, I really loved what I did. We were a small business, small company based out of Bowie, Maryland. And, it was a great work environment. Everyone was close. We would have happy hours. We would have holiday parties. That was another thing that I took the lead on, was like coordinating and decorating and planning for our holiday parties. So I did maybe 3 of those since I've been with the company. When COVID hit in 2020, we did go remote. So we went from being fully in office to fully working remote. And our type of job, company, business, whatever you want to call it, it's really not the type of job where you physically need to be there. Everything can be done remotely. So it was basically, once COVID kind of died down and things, was starting to get back to like normal, We pretty much stayed remote. There was a couple people that would still go into the office, so it was kind of at your discretion, your choice if you wanted to go in or not. But yeah, like one of my colleagues moved to Seoul, Korea. Another, my supervisor, she moved to Utah. Her and her husband moved to Utah. One of my other coworkers, for a little while, her and her husband were, you know, traveling, doing like kind of like a van life type situation. And so once COVID hit and once we realized that, you know, we could be remote, people pretty much started moving. But but yeah, it was a great job. My boss was amazing. Like, I will say he was probably the best boss I've ever had. I've never met someone who cared so much about his employees and making sure that we were well taken care of. That man always made sure that we were well taken care of. We got bonuses every year. When around the COVID times, he took it upon himself to make sure that everybody in the company was working at least minimum 50K or more. And if you weren't, you were bumped up immediately to 50K. So he was just very generous. Like, this man he did, in 2023, he did, decide to sell the company. The company he sold us to, he saw the vision for, he felt that they could take us further than what he could within the last, 10-ish years of him, running the business. And so he decided to, sell and retire. And, we were sad about it, but we were nervous about what was going to happen next. But this man, when I tell you, best boss ever, like, I've never met someone with such a big, genuine heart as him. So the money that he got from, selling the company, he decided to pay all of us, everyone, bonuses. But, and it was based, I can't remember exactly what it was based on. I know it was based on how long you've been there, plus something else, a percentage of something else. I can't remember. And I'm not going to disclose that amount that I received, but when I tell you that once I saw the amount, when he had meetings with all of us to, tell us about what was happening and, our bonuses or whatever. And when I tell you, when he showed me the amount that he was paying me, I cried. Because at that time I was dealing with a lot. I had a lot of debt. I owe the IRS money. I owe state of Maryland money. I had a lot of like credit card and loan debt and stuff. And because of him, I was able to pay off a lot of my bills. I was able to finally go shopping for myself, like treat myself to like new clothes and stuff. Cause not to say that, I was looking run down or raggedy or anything, or that, I didn't never buy clothes. But, when you're going through some, rough patch and, the funds are tight, you have to sacrifice in certain areas. And, one of those areas was not, buying as much clothes as I would have liked. So I was, able to take care of my bills and to finally like put some money into myself and, treat myself. So that's amazing person. Yeah. So I'm not gonna go too much into what happened after, once we got sold and we were under another company, but basically the company went through 2 mergers or company buyouts, whatever you want to call them. And the company that ended up buying us, they ended up getting bought out by another company. And things were good for, another year and a half, almost 2 years. Yeah, about 2 years. Things were good for about another 2 years. And in February, they decided that they were gonna cut the entire team, lay us all off. So the company no longer exists. Yeah, so I have been searching for a full-time job since mid-February. And when I tell you losing my job was like very devastating to me, it was because I had so many things lined up for myself that losing my job completely just like shattered everything. It just ruined, destroyed everything that I had going for myself at that time back in February. For starters, I was supposed to move cross country. I had been saying for years how I wanted to leave Maryland, live somewhere else, get that experience. I've always wanted to move out of state somewhere. And things were finally, coming about for me. I had a lot of money saved up. I found a place I wanted to live. I was supposed to move to Vegas. For a while, it was in between Vegas and Phoenix. And eventually I decided to go with Vegas. I just love it out there. And I also love the fact that there's no state income tax. So that would have been more money in my checks. So I, decided on Vegas, and I found a place that I wanted to live, applied, got approved, submitted, money was involved. Like I paid, security deposit, holding fees, what else have I paid? I paid for a moving company. I paid a deposit on that. I had a lot of things in order. And when I found out that we were going to be laid off, and the layoff wasn't immediate either. The layoff was going to be effective March 31st. And so they were nice enough to give us a month and a half before, our jobs are finito. But I found out a week before I was supposed to move into my new apartment. Well, no, I should say I found out a week before I was supposed to get on the road because I was going to drive out there. And my best friend was going to fly out here to help me move, to help me make that drive. And I was kind of getting emotional thinking about it now, but I was in a very depressive, dark space for a couple weeks. And then even after that, the emotions would come and go, as far as being sad and crying. That probably lasted for about a month of me just going through the ebbs and flows of my emotions with the situation. But for the first week or two, I was definitely very depressed. And it was just why is this, happening? I finally was about to make this big change in my life that I was really excited for. and I had like everything was in order. I had the moving company on secured. I had the apartment secured. I had like I was planning a going away party. I was so excited to start this new chapter of my life, and it wasn't even just like the fact that I was moving, but I was so excited because I had a lot of plans for content. Like I had a lot of plans to, revamp my YouTube because I've neglected it for it's been 5 years since my last upload. And I had a lot of plans. I had a lot of plans to revamp my YouTube. I had a lot of ideas. I was planning on doing like a 2024 recap video. I was planning on doing a moving series. And just like really trying to get back into the swing of things with recording again. And I just had a lot of plans. Like I was ready for the new experiences. I was ready to like focus on myself, focus on getting my health together like more seriously, because I'll be in a different environment. And I just feel like when I'm out there, and not even just there, like if I go to like, even when I go to visit my best friend and her husband in Phoenix, like I just feel more active when I'm out there. Like, I don't know, the West Coast is just a different vibe and I love it. But I just was so ready for like new everything, a new beginning, a fresh new start. And for that to happen and to be stuck here, or feeling like I'm, was stuck here, was very devastating to me. One of the things about me, as far as like the process of me getting out there, was once my lease was up with my apartment. Well, actually, I was on a month-to-month, so but once I found out that my mom said that I could come back home and save some extra money, since she knew that I was going to be moving the following year. This was back in this was last year in August, I think. July or August was when I found out that she said that I'm more than welcome to come back home to save money towards my move. I was like, well, shit, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. Like, it makes sense. Why am I gonna continue paying over $1,500 for my apartment? And mind you, it was only that expensive because I was on a month-to-month basis. But I was just like, why am I gonna continue paying $1,554 or whatever it was I was paying, when I can just go back home and pay her, a little bit of money each month and pay off more of my bills and save money for this move. So the plan was to stay here for a few months and move the following year. Originally I had wanted to move during the winter time, but there was a lot of back and forth and things not working out as far as my move-in date with, when I wanted to move. And finally, I was able to secure something for a move-in date that worked for me, which was the end of February. So that was the plan. I was only supposed to be back at my mom's house until the end of February. And here we are. It's been a year now that I've been here. Which is just like wild to think about. It's been rough. I will say that out of all the times that I've come back home, this is the smoothest, and not as like hard on my mental as it's been in the past. It's been I don't know if I want to say the easiest, but it's been the less problematic out of all of the other times that I've come back home, which I'm thankful for. But at the same time, it's just like, I'm just ready to have my own space. I'm ready, when you've lived on your own for X amount of years, like I miss having my own space. Like I miss my apartment and just doing my own thing and, having my own space and hosting and, having friends come over. Not to say that they can't come over while I'm here, but it's just like, I'm grown. Like I'm gonna be 35 in less than 2 months. Like in a month and a half, I'm going to be 35. And it's just like, I try not to look at it as like, oh, you're failing in life, or oh, like, why are you, still you're living at home with your parents, blah, blah, blah. Like everybody's circumstances are different. And so I try not to be too hard on myself, but, also it's just like, I'm just ready to have my own space again. Like, I'm super thankful to be home, that I have a home to come home to, that I have a roof over my head. I will, forever be grateful and thankful for that. But it's getting about that time for me to like, I'm ready to leave and have my own space again. So, but that's a work in progress. As far as how the job hunt, search, how things have been now. So another thing that I'm truly thankful for is while I had my last full-time job before they laid us off, I was actually working a second part-time job. A close friend of mine, she owns a business, a waxing business, and June of last year, she her business elevated and she moved from a salon suite to a storefront, and I'm so proud of her. Oh, just to see the elevation. We've been friends for almost 8 years, like 7-8 years, and started out as a client of hers at European Wax Center. And so like I literally watched her grow over the years, and so she is truly an inspiration, and just like I'm so in awe of her. And she's young too. Like we're 6 years apart, I believe. Yeah, we're 6 years apart. So that's my little baby. But anyways, luckily for me, I was already working there part-time, front desk for her. And when I found out about, that I was getting laid off, of course I was devastated. But, luckily I was able to just still have some kind of income coming in. So, and if I needed to pick up hours, I could, and whatever. So I'm super thankful that I still have income coming in, because it would have been rough. I do get unemployment. The amount that I get is based off of, because obviously I have to submit my hours and what I get paid at my part-time job for like any type of job you work when you file unemployment. So, so I do have a weekly amount that, I'm guaranteed, but since, I get paid from my part-time job or whatever, that amount gets reduced or whatever. So, so I do still get unemployment, pending on how much I get paid from my part-time job for that week, because we do get paid weekly. And yeah, it's just been a lot of rejection as far as the job hunt goes for a full-time job. There's been a lot of rejection. Like, I've applied to hundreds of jobs. In the beginning, I wasn't keeping track, and then, you know, midway point, I started keeping track, and then now I haven't even kept track of the jobs anymore because there's just so many. But I've applied to at least hundreds of jobs in the last 6 months, and I've only had one interview in the last 6 months. Now, I'm not counting the video calls and the phone calls that I've had with the recruiters. Not really counting them, because I have had a small handful of calls like those. But when I tell you that almost all the recruiters that I've been in touch with in the last 6 months have literally gotten me nowhere. Like, I can't even explain to you my disappointment with one of the recruiters that I've been trying to get in with for years. And I was so excited when someone reached out to me and I was finally able to get in with them. And when I tell you I have not heard from that recruiter in like a month. And then prior to that, we were like kind of playing like phone tag a little bit, but it's just like I've left messages, sent emails, and you're not returning anything. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's madness. But what I will say is that there is currently a staffing agency that I'm working with where so far this recruiter has been the best that I've encountered. She's very proactive. She makes sure to check in, let me know how things are going. If she sees any jobs that she thinks I could be a good fit for, she'll shoot them my way in an email, and I can let her know whether to, you know, send my resume off to the client or not. And literally, like, I applied to a job, one of their jobs, and literally same day I got a call from the recruiter, and we set up a video call for the next day. Did that, got to know each other a little bit more, and you know, she, you know, was asked me what I'm looking for, this, that, and the third. And I kid you not, that same day she submitted me for a job. And then she said that there was another job that she was supposed to be getting, and once she had more information, she would send that over my way. I think it was either the same day or the following week, she sent that over, and I told her to go ahead and submit me for it. And it's been, granted, I'm still waiting to hear from those, and she has followed up recently saying that things are moving kind of slow and she's still waiting to hear back from the job she submitted me for. But just last week she sent another job over my way. Unfortunately, I had to decline that one because it's way too far for me. It's almost an hour away, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's too far. But it's just like, this was the type of energy that I was looking for from the other staffing agency that I was wanting to get in with so bad, but I have gotten nowhere with. So yeah, as far as the job hunt, it's been a little rough. I kind of do have something in the works as far as a potential contract with the hopes of it becoming full-time, but I don't want to speak on it too much. I really just want to see what happens. Hopefully things go the way that I think they should go, but you know, I don't want to speak on it too much until that's secured. So I'll probably do like a little follow-up soon in regards to that. As far as my plans, my living situation, moving, all that good stuff, I would still like to move. I would love to still move to Vegas. It really just depends on my job situation. And I can't be for sure if this, contract is gonna work out the way that, I'm hoping or think it'll work out. So I've just, for right now, I've just mainly just been focused on finding work. Hopefully I can get back on track with things and still make that move out west. But I've also gotten to a point to where if that's truly not in the cards for me, then it's okay. And I will just, if I'm meant to be here in Maryland, then, I'll stay here. But if I'm able to make a move happen, then I will definitely make it happen. But I'm also not gonna force anything. So we'll just see what happens. But yeah, this is kind of my life update. So let's do a recap. So I'm unfortunately currently living with my mother due to my job loss. I was supposed to move out west to Vegas back in February, but unfortunately got laid off. So that's been postponed indefinitely. Hopefully that can happen again. I can get back into, those plans. But if that's, not meant for me, then it's not meant for me. I also forgot to mention, I wasn't able to get my money back from the moving company or the apartment complex. So yeah, that's great. So that's, how much did I pay them? Yeah, that's like, I want to say like $1,400-$1,500 down the drain. What I will say though is that for the apartment complex that I was going to live at in Vegas, I'm very thankful to them because they had already took my apartment off the market or whatever. So because I had to withdraw my application and everything, apparently I would have owed them money. Like I would have owed them for that first month. But because I had such a good relationship with them over the course of like the year and a half that I've been like in communication with them and whatnot, they decided to just, to just wash it. So basically, instead of owing them for like a month of rent or whatever, I basically what I've paid them so far, they decided to just keep that and just get rid of the rest of the balance. So it's very bittersweet. I really would have loved to have gotten my money back just because I'm like, look, like I'm about to have no full-time job and I'm about to literally be living paycheck to paycheck, and like I really could have used that money. But everything happens for a reason. So I'm very, very thankful that they decided to just delete my balance and just keep what I did pay them up until that point. So, and then regarding the moving company, when I found out that I was gonna lose my job, I immediately called them and to cancel the pickup because they were supposed to come later in the week. I think it was Tuesday. Was it a Tuesday that I found out? Because I think Monday was the holiday. So they were supposed to come pick up on, I think, either Friday or Saturday of that week. And in their policy, to make any changes or cancellations or whatever, it has to be done, I think it said 5 business days. I think it's at least 5 business days prior to the scheduled pickup date, which of course, obviously it was not within that time frame. It was literally like 3 days before. So I was unable to get a refund, and I paid them $700 for a deposit. But the customer service rep that I've been working with, he did say that my move is good for, I think he said 24 months, but I'm gonna have to call them and verify, because when I went back recently to look at my contract, it said 12 months, which means basically I would need to use them or lose out on $700 by February of next year. And I don't know if I'm gonna be moving anywhere by then, as far as like long distance. I don't know. I have to, that's gonna be a work in progress in itself, figuring that out. But yeah, so what else? Yeah, so like I said, the move didn't happen. I'm still here in Maryland, still working my part-time job, but looking for full-time work. Still, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, still looking for full-time work. I do potentially have something in the works as far as a contract to hire role, but like I said, I'm not going to speak on it too much. I'm just going to see what happens. And yeah, as far as my plans for my channel, I do still want to try to get new content out. It's just been hard because I've just been so busy with between, you know, work and, you know, applying for jobs and just trying to, you know, get out of the ruts that I be in sometimes. I have picked up the camera a couple times over the last couple months, but I just haven't gotten around to editing anything or putting together something. Like, I was gonna put out like a little Amazon Prime Day haul. I had recorded like everything that I got and didn't even put that out. So I definitely need to work on being better about my content. But I definitely want to revamp my YouTube. I just need to sit down and figure out like what all I want to do. What does like my main focus want to be for my channel, and just rejuge it, give it new life. So we'll see, but for now, this is what I have for you. This is a life update. This is what's happened over the last six to 9 months. And I don't know, maybe another video I can recap what's occurred in my life over the last like 5 years since I last uploaded a video. I don't know. The sky's the limit. But anyways, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. I do plan to have some more content coming. Just bear with me as I'm currently trying to get my life together. But feel free to like, comment, share. Once again, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and feel free to leave some comments down below about, you know, if you can relate to what I'm going through, if you have any advice, or if you just want to talk about your experience with the job market. I know it's been really tough for a lot of people, not just me, but a lot of people. And I know a lot of people have been, you know, laid off over the last few months, whether it's government related or not even government related. You know, my job wasn't a government related job, and the company, you know, they didn't want to work with us anymore. So yeah, but thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon.